So let's get into the dailies.
All right, so I'm going to be starting with the daily graphic.
Okay.
The front page of the daily graphic, we have achieving economic stability, efficient tax utilization key, and neonatal infant mortality rates reduce. Energy Minister calls for sub-regional energy transition policy, and property rate portal accrues 20 million Ghana cedis in 3 months.
All right. I have the Ghanaian Times. And there's a bit of good news here on the front page of the Ghanaian Times. Obechebe Lamte interchange. Work set to resume at last. Oh, that area is a mess. So the earlier we can get it fixed and, all of that, so that traffic can move smoothly, the whole place can be modernized, the better. After government concludes negotiations with external creditors. Well, so the resident engineer is speaking there, and we're looking forward to the conclusion of discussions with the external creditors so that that project can be done. FAO calls for concerted effort in managing water resources. We have recruitment of domestic staff to Gulf states. Ghana won't lift ban until, and this is coming from the Minister of Employment. You can read that story on page 12 of the Ghanaian Times. And we have Sanitation Minister, World Bank team inspect Gamma projects. That story on page 11 of the Ghanaian Times.
All right, so on the front page of the Finder, we have Esther J.B. Donker and others honored for contribution in maritime sector. 100 years old Kolebu Hospital appeals for help. GJA got it all wrong, and that's by the Information Minister as he calls for united front against attacks on media. Is this the truth behind this BOG and NDC chaskele? Well, police arrest one after death of Kiki B's owner.
Yeah, the girlfriend has been picked up, but I still can't wrap my mind around it.
Wow.
What triggered this? What brought this about? Why would somebody just? Anyway, the world is just full of wickedness.
Yeah.
Daily Guide. Cecilia Dapar fights OSP. We have extend laws to cover political party elections. Occupy Ghana speaking. Contract killer, in quote, jailed 10 years over robbery and death threat. Girlfriend arrested over Kikibi's owner's death. And 3 workers die in underground tank. This is a very pathetic story. There are 3 workers that died. So they go in to do some maybe maintenance work, and then the first person goes in, doesn't come back. So the second goes in to go and check on the first person, also doesn't come back. And then the third person also follows to go in and doesn't come back. And then the masons and other workers above ground report the issue that, hey, it's been a while. Yeah. These people have gone down. Nobody's returned. We don't know what's going on. And so they bring NADMO in, fire service and everything else. But I'm asking myself, in industrial complexes, we have safety protocols. And if the safety protocols typically are followed, you don't have accidents like this. Apparently they suffocated. I don't know what it meant, whether it was an underground gas.
Yeah.
There's a poisonous gas. Yeah. We don't know, but it's unfortunate. It could easily be something like carbon monoxide. It could be, but what are our safety protocols? People are going in without gas masks. They're going underground. And if the first person goes and doesn't come back, shouldn't the second person at least think, if the person is not responding and is not coming out, maybe I should secure myself before I go in?
No, probably I think it's the third person that should have been worried. Because second person could have just thought,
baffling.
Okay,
it's baffling. 2 people have gone, they've not returned.
Yeah, I think it's the third person that should have, had that kind of
safety
thought in the head.
Anyway, so that's it for the Daily Guide.
All right, let's turn on the Daybreak. On the Daybreak, the front page of the Daybreak, we have shady deals exposed in police criminal clearance. Only 14 dialysis center in Ghana. Gomwa West Assembly fire police commander and declare him persona non grata. And Esther J.B. Donko, honored for maritime sector contribution. And that's all we have on the Daybreak.
All right. On the front page of the Chronicle, we have Varsity Don scolds A+ for tearing MPP letter apart. Censures UTV as well. Okay.
Why?
I don't have any idea. He's the head of media studies at UNIMAC. Okay. I think that's part of the GIJ setup. I don't understand it, but I'm sure the story would give more details, so we can go over and read that. Yes, I made the right choice. Idutrum is one of the best appointments. Akufo-Addo speaking there, and you see the Minister of Education in a very hearty posture with the President, sharing some kind of a joke together. Proverbs chapter 19, verse 21. Many are the plans in the mind of a man, but it's the purpose of the Lord that will stand.
Okay.
That's it for the Chronicle.
All right. So on the Business and Financial Times, we have Build Back Better. IMF supports strategies to build a sustainable economy and dynamic business environment. Unlocking Adasol project potential. PIED Africa calls for investor support. GEF 2023 kicks off today. Over 40% of grains contain unacceptable levels of aflatoxin contamination. And ADB MD bags agribusiness financing CEO of the year.
All right, let's do some online stories. Go to citinewsroom.com. All right, so we can go there, and we have Ghana's 3% economic growth is an indication of a resilient economy. This is coming from the IMF mission chief. Now, for me, it's always good news when we have, as quickly as we can jump on the international press or international persons saying that Ghana has been downgraded, and we are quick to lambast the government and their decisions. When there's a positive story, we should also see that, okay, so something good must be happening.
Yeah.
Something positive must be happening.
So we should throw in a little bit of praise in there.
It won't just say that somebody's doing something right. We can't go in one direction when it suits us, and then when it's going the other way, it doesn't suit us. We pretend as if it's nothing is happening, right? Okay, so for me, I think there's some good news here. He says it's an indication of a resilient economy. Okay, we also have some trending stories. Produced dialysis consumables in Ghana in Siasari to pharmaceutical companies. Yes, as far as we say that, I also think we should say, because we know we're in a crisis situation and that we don't want to necessarily increase the cost of dialysis, it makes sense to do zero taxation on all the inputs that you need for the consumables for dialysis. So if you're saying the pharmaceuticals in Ghana, and there are a lot of them who can produce consumables, it also makes sense to say, okay, pharmaceuticals, here's what we're going to do for you. Zero taxation on any consumables as long as it's going to dialysis, on any inputs, as long as it's going to dialysis consumables, right? Then we know that the government is serious about business. But if we're going to say encourage the pharmaceuticals to produce locally, what's the incentive? What's the benefit? If it becomes more expensive than importing and just selling, just import and sell, It's very nice for political bigwigs to just sit up there and talk nice talk.
I'm telling you.
Let's implement the reality thing on the ground that it becomes practical. Let's be pragmatic in our leadership. Sokoban residents unhappy over bad roads call for urgent action from government. And Cheponi, news from Cheponi, youth of Wanchiki fight, in quote, NEDCO officials over disconnection. UTV invasion, NDC youth wing demands update on arrests. Okay, so those are some of the trending stories. We have a few other stories.
Yes, and some of the stories here NDC demands speedy prosecution of NPP members who invaded UTV studio. Aggrieved Gold Coast Fund customers to picket at Finance Ministry today. Will convey positive assessment of Ghana's economy to IMF board, and that's the mission chief. Leaked tape, I'll be vindicated after parliamentary committee probe COP Mensa. And Koforidua, 3 technicians suffocates to death in fuel reservoir. Punish thugs who invaded UTV to deter others. NCCE to police. And 2023 was sex malpractices. Expedite prosecution on persons. 2023 WASI malpractices. Expedite prosecution on persons arrested, and that's by Edu Watch. Hiking renal dialysis fee at Kolebu justified, Professor Frimpong Boating says, and expedite legalization of organ harvesting. Kolebu urges Parliament. We've built 123 projects in Ashanti region. We've been fair.
All right. Well, that's some of the stories on the citynewsroom.com. You can go over there to get all your credible news updates every minute, every hour. We have fresh stories as they drop, and so on. You can also go to Citi Business News for your business news updates. We have Citi Sports Online. That's where you get all your sports updates. Of course, you know that 97.3, we have exclusive rights to show the Premier League, to replay the Premier League from Talk Sports, the only station in Ghana that has those rights to do that. And we are quite excited about that. And then, of course, we also have Ghana Weekend, which is your showbiz and entertainment news portal as well. Well, it's time for sports this morning. Don't go anywhere. Sports reviews next. All right, welcome back. And we're talking sports this morning. CAF Women's Champions League. We have Ghanaian champions, Ampem Dakwan ladies, have been paired with AS FAR Club of Morocco, and then AS Mandi of Mali, and Hurricanes FC of Equatorial Guinea in Group B of the upcoming CAF Total Energies Africa Women's Champions League. Okay, it's going to be exciting. The Techiman-based club entered into the competition as winners of WAFU Zone B following a 1-0 win against Nigerian club Delta Queens in the final to win the zone. Now, Ampem Dakwan ladies will begin their campaign as defending champions, AS FAR of Morocco, before taking on AS Mandi and Hurricanes FC. Now, in Group A, host Atletico FC from Ivory Coast will face Sporting Casablanca from Egypt, previous winner Mamelodi Sundowns ladies from South Africa, and JKT Queens from Tanzania. Now again in the CAF Women's Champions League final was scheduled to be played in Cote d'Ivoire between the 5th and the 19th of November 2023. Now in England, Arsenal forward Bukayo Saka has been ruled out of England's games against Australia and Italy because of injury. Now Saka missed his side's 1-0 Premier League win over Manchester City on Sunday with a hamstring injury. The FA confirmed that he had withdrawn after being assessed by England's medical team and will not be replaced in the squad, which has now got 25 players. Now, England face Australia on the 13th of October before taking on Italy in a European Championship qualifier 4 days later. Now, Saka's absence on Sunday ended a run of 87 consecutive Premier League games in which Arsenal manager Mikel Arteta had played the 22-year-old winger.